Hey everyone, this is Phil, and in this video we're going to review the MF3RS3 by Cubing Classroom. This is a third cube in the series, and we're really excited to see this cube be used by both beginners and professionals. Hold on. Hello? Oh, hold on, you need it today. Alright, hold up, sorry.
You know, I don't think he's coming back anytime soon, so I guess I'll take over. What's up, guys? Chris from the Cubicle here, and today we'll be taking a look at the MF3RS3 from Cubing Classroom, a sub-brand of MoU. Conveniently abbreviated as the RS3, this cube was released in December 2018 and is the third cube in the RS line. The RS line has evolved from being just an economy cube with nicer features to a series of cubes that are very viable as competitive speed cubing options. For example, the RS2 has been used for multiple sub-7 averages from Dylan Miller and Chris Yen, and here the RS3 is currently the main for Dylan Miller, Michal Zawuski, and Antoine Canton. It's great to see MoU marketing this cube as the RS3 because now it's much easier to say, so thanks for that, MoU. So for background information, the RS series from Cubing Classroom has always been an economy line of cubes that was priced slightly higher than other budget cubes. For example, the RS was $5 retail at the time when most other budget models were $4. And while the RS was a decent economy cube, it did not impact high-level speed solving in any capacity. All of this changed when the RS2 was released. This cube in its natural state felt closer to a flagship puzzle at the time, which prompted third-party vendors to magnetize the cube and offer it commercially. After the RS2M got enough momentum, a couple cubers managed sub-7 official averages on it, demonstrating conclusively that the RS2M was competitively viable despite its cheap price. The RS3 follows the trend set by the RS2. It's slightly more expensive than previous models in the series, but still maintains a relatively low price with flagship features. Now let's take a deeper look. The RS3 comes in two different varieties, magnetic and non-magnetic. The magnetic version goes for $14.99, weighs 92 grams, and comes in black and stickerless. The non-magnetic version of the RS3 is $9.99 and comes in black, stickerless, and white. This one is lighter at 84 grams, and both versions of the RS3 are 56mm in size. Let's take a look at some of the changes the manufacturer made to the RS3 from the RS2. Starting off with the exterior. MoU changed the color scheme of the RS3 to match its other recent releases, slightly deeper red and blue, making the scheme a lot closer to half brights. Also from the outside, you can see that the sharper centerpiece base on the RS3 compared to the RS2. When you open the cube, you'll quickly notice the RS3 center is flat around the sides with a protruding base that's quite sharp. The edges of the RS3 have grooves that are less pronounced. Also, the torpedoes have changed quite a bit. The torpedoes of the RS3 have tracks and are smaller in width. The corners are also quite different. The RS3 corner features a double base design with a screw, which fastens the second base securely to the rest of the corner. Additionally, the RS3 corner has a shorter stock. The protrusion for the squared off corner is smaller and hangs over less. Putting the pieces together, you'll see that the RS3's corner and edge piece interact more intricately. That's very noticeable here. Out of the box, the RS3 has a fast and papery feel and is quite dry. After taking time to set up the cube with thicker lube like Traxxas 30K, the cube becomes much smoother. Due to the RS3's design, it feels quite blocky when turning quickly, and the magnets are on the stronger side, which contributes to the cube's very stable feel and lack of flex. The outside is also more bubbly and rounder feeling than most other 3x3s on the market, which is pretty unique and may take some time to get used to. Despite the lack of flex, corner cutting is surprisingly on par with flagship cubes on the market. Forward cutting is over 45 degrees and reverse is nearly line to line. We have not experienced any issues such as corner twists or popping with this cube. This could be due to the cube's blocky design. The blockiness definitely helps with stability. In our opinion, when it comes to economy-priced factory magnetic cubes, the RS3M is the closest to being on par with flagship speed cubes. If you considered all cubes available, the RS3M stands with the RS2M and Little Magic M as economy cubes that enjoyed success in high-level competition. Additionally, we like the RS line because it satisfies so many different types of cubers. The cubes are very reasonably priced and are pretty beginner friendly. They're also fairly compatible with some competitive speed cubers. Having cheaper speed cubes compete on a high level is really beneficial, as it encourages manufacturers to design and produce better performing cubes at a more affordable price. It also puts pressures on makers to introduce features that exceed what we expect from the basic speed cube. Now let's take a look and see how this cube did with our testers. Now before we get into this, we're going to talk about a new statistic we're going to do in this portion of the review. We had each tester do an average of 100 with the RS3 and also their main, and we're going to put the stats on screen so you can see how that cube compared to their main.
Hey everyone, Damian here. I was a big fan of the MF3RS2M, so I assumed that I would also enjoy the version 3. And while I do not hate this puzzle, it definitely doesn't live up to my expectations. I feel that the added weight makes it a bit cumbersome and unwieldy, traits that I'm not a fan of when it comes to speed solving. These are the same characteristics that made me quickly move on from the bulk power. The added hardware in the corners, if it gave some massive benefit, would be understandable, but the puzzle doesn't feel any more stable than the previous version, and maybe even less so. Also, the factory magnets are not strong enough to stabilize this puzzle with its added weight, in my opinion. For these reasons, I did not perform as well on the MF3RS3M as I did on my current main, the GAN356X. My average of 100 was almost half a second slower with the MF3RS3M, and I'm confident that it was the cumbersome feel of the puzzle mixed with its instability that caused this.
Hey everyone, this is Phil. The MF3RS3M was a pretty fun cube. Strangely, I enjoy mine most when there's less loop, which makes the cube sharp and quick. Despite this cube being heavy in weight, the turning feels especially clean and crisp. The M-slice is beautifully fast. I like these qualities a lot. They really make the cube fun to solve on. My overall performance on this cube was slightly worse than on my main, but I was able to get some solid sub-10 averages of 12 and some 8-second averages of 5. I think performance was affected by the quick natural speed of the cube. While it's really fun and enjoyable, it doesn't give you the biggest margin for error if you make a mistake. Of course, looping the cube more will definitely make it more controllable. However, it may also make the cube's weight a lot more apparent. In total, I think Moyu did a pretty good job on this cube. The feel is pretty unique, the price is nice, and the cube is fun. It's good to see pros picking it up as well. It adds faith to the idea that cubes don't need to be expensive in order to be excellent.
Hey guys, this is Chris. The RS3 is interesting to me because I wouldn't necessarily say it's a whole lot better than the RS2. In fact, I think there are definitely people who might even prefer the RS2 over the RS3. That's not to say that the RS3 is bad, but I think there's definitely personal preference between those that's going to come into play here, and it's not going to be as cut and dry as the newest one is wholeheartedly better than the old one. With that being said, I did enjoy messing with the RS3. I thought it was pretty fun to solve on. It was a little bit heavier and stronger on the magnets than I would personally prefer, but the cube was definitely all right. My average of 100 was definitely faster on the GAN356X, but that was to be expected because I've been using that longer. I do think the RS3 is very good at $15 and being a magnetic puzzle, but for me personally, I don't think it's any better than the other flagships that I currently like. But if you're looking for a magnetic cube on a budget that has great performance, this is definitely one of them. But for me, I'm gonna stick with the GAN356X. We hope you guys enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.